Other major news this evening, power has been restored to thousands of people who were left powerless in Green Bay for several hours this morning. In fact, at one point, more than 12,000 WPS customers were powerless, mostly on the west side of the city. And not just homes, businesses, a hospital, and schools lost power, disrupting their days, including some surgeries postponed at St. Mary's Hospital. The outage knocked out power to traffic lights on West Mason Street, and there were problems all around.
And WPS says the situation was made worse because of last week's winter storm Gabe, if you remember. It impacts the transmission lines near Interstate 43 between the Leo Frigo Bridge and U.S. Highway 41. WPS says it did some quick temporary repairs after the winter storm to get the power back, but the lines had more slack in them than normal. And in today's winds, the lines touched one another, shorting out the circuits and shutting down the power.
Now, as for the schools that lost power, Notre Dame Academy closed their high school for the day. Northeast Wisconsin Technical College canceled morning and afternoon classes, but reopened about half an hour ago for its evening classes. 4 West Side Green Bay District elementary schools were also without power for part of the school day: King, Keller, Chapel, and Elmore. But as Fox 11's Cameron Clark shows us this evening, at those schools, class continued with a little creativity.
Classrooms spilled into hallways, huddled next to windows, and settled under skylights.
We only have a few lights for the generators.
Anything to shed some light on the subject.
We can't write because we can't see.
King Elementary was the last of 4 Green Bay public schools left in the dark with no power.
And I have to admit, this is the first teaching without electricity. And today I actually had to think about 30 years ago when I taught without technology.
While the school did not have exact numbers, the principal says attendance was pretty close to a normal day.
It's actually pretty good because there was no way to communicate with parents that we didn't have power. Kids came as they normally would.
Although she says there were some stragglers as the power was out at many nearby homes as well.
I was just afraid that they would let the kids out and Zach wouldn't have a way home.
That's why the district sent out an email saying parents had the option to get their students at the affected schools, but classes would continue and cold lunches would be brought in.
We've just been trying to go with the flow. Teachers have been doing a great job of making do, with continuing with the learning.
Just about an hour and a half into the school day,
we have lights now.
Everything returned to normal.
We can go back to class.
With an extra lesson learned.
Definitely got to roll with punches.
In Green Bay, Cameron Clark, Fox 11 News.
Parents who chose to keep their students home today did so with no questions asked. Absences were considered excused.